Welcome back to Breaking Biomutant. In our pilot episode, I showed you how to get to, the Tribal Wars, get through the tutorial at least, or at least most of the tutorial. Tribal Wars are still partly tutorial. Um, we ended up making one purchase for our mutations. Excuse me. But, still level 2, haven't really done much. The, whole premise that I showed in the first is if you can keep up a
It's a
counter
beaten
combo,
path to that door. If you go
then
there, you'd better make
you're
an entrance.
practically invincible. I'm going to show you how to couple that with the purchase we made. But first,
Says they're wary of
nope, wrong one. I need to speak to Sifu. Now, when
Thinks you
doing the
should.
clan wars, you can't just go and talk to a rival clan. Um, you have to do a couple of clan missions for the clan you're in before you can switch sides.
He welcomes you,
But I'm not
but
going
he
to
was
bother with that.
hoping
I'm
you'd
just
show up.
going to
The new. He heard you
zip
took
right
out a
through.
bait
There's
sample.
an option
There's
when you get about
something
halfway
about your
through the clan war that
The
everyone will
Sifu says
surrender and
sometimes one.
unify under your clan.
Your
I'm gonna
Moomba
take that
invented
option.
Wang Fu.
If you
Myriad
want to
want. If you
collect,
believe there's some good in everyone,
if you want to
the
collect all the
Sifu was
tribal
waiting for
weapons,
something to tip
then
the balance
you
in them.
need to go through all the clan war options and not end it early. If you want all of the clan armors, you either have to find
Their
them
kin have
naturally
run out
through,
of options and found
RNG,
themselves backed into a
or
corner.
you end up have
Even
to
those who
switch
desire peace
sides
have been
and then end
forced.
up
He wants you
taking
to focus.
different
These
fortresses
are the
back.
new rival outposts your tribe
So,
needs to take control of.
first thing they're pointing out is the rival clans of the Jagni and the Myriad. So since I've just joined the Myriad, they're showing me Jagni
He
outposts.
says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen.
Now, in my first
You both
playthrough,
have gentle
I
mind.
put this
Tells you
on the
not.
back shelf.
Once you've dealt, see,
Um,
you remember.
I didn't want anything to do with the clan war. It's just kind of a thing with me. I didn't want anything to do with Civil War in Skyrim. But one reason I suggest go ahead and get this clan war out of the way, at least this section of it, is because the Jagni staff that you can earn has an attack that kind of acts like a helicopter, just a bit. More armor. Now, when it comes to choosing equipment, there's three things that I like to look at. I don't bother looking at the add-ons because those can vary. I look at the armor, I look at the health key and energy regen, um, and I also look at the resistances down. You can see this has a 20% cold resistance, which is the reason I'm going to be keeping it in case we get into a cold area. I'm not equipping it because I would prefer to have the energy regen and key energy. Those are some of the best things you can go with when it comes to this whole build. Just having massive amounts of it is going to pay off in the end. Now there's a ton of equipment and stuff you can see I'm collecting here. Just search around. They make it semi-easy to spot it once it's in eyesight. For some reason in this run, I am getting a whole mess of add-ons, which is not a complaint. I just don't mess with them till later on. Oh, there's one. Now, I believe I'm not wearing anything. Yeah, I'm not wearing anything, so I'm going to go ahead and equip that. Now, it'll be a little difficult to beat the key energy and energy regen that I've got going on right now, but eventually we'll get there. There it is. Now, you can always scrap, but you'll see what resources you end up getting from it. A lot of the consumable items I end up selling because I don't ever end up using them. See, this is a trade-off. Get a little bit more armor to end up getting less add-ons, but again, I don't do add-ons. I'm gonna take it just because it has heat resist. Now I wear short shorts. If I remember correctly, there's not much down here, just people to talk to. And there are vendors if you feel the need to spend whatever, you know, what, I don't even think we found money yet. So, I just passed the door, didn't I? Just... Now you're going to end up getting a lot of different parts for weapons and armor, you know, the add-on stuff. You know, feel free as soon as we get to the crafting unlock to mess with it as you feel fit, but I end up using the base things because the magic's going to be the real damage dealer, because when it gets to the big fights you're just running around lobbing spells anyway. The small fights, if you can juggle people, you're fine. So eventually, the idea is when I find some rarer components, you know, some more epic stuff. That'll be around the time I start crafting new weapons and unlocking their moves. If you're wondering why I'm staring, these yellow spots on the rocks, sometimes they're natural, but when they're not natural, they're climbing spots. So I was looking for, you know, exploration, which is the main appeal of this game. It's beautiful graphic. I love the environments, and exploration is most of the fun in this game. Combat's great too. I also like the whole aesthetic and feel of the world. You know, we've already left and whatnot, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and launch that. So you can see it's a slow homing projectile, but once it hits them, they go berserk. And you can continue to fire it if you want, but it does very minimal damage. Does not reset any cooldowns. So, yep, as you can see, did not work long at all. But the benefit, now that both of them are distracted, one of them can still be infected. And then you can go about your business. Now, mind you, not really a necessity once you get the combo down, but as of course you're dealing with two melees here, easy to land the combo. If, you know, there's a couple of guys supporting them, that would be different. Not to mention, you do have your Wung Fu abilities, and Wung Fu is incredibly powerful. I just need to unlock a different skill, because you need to combo your Wung Fu skills together. If I do two Unspeakable Hands, it doesn't work. But if I do an Unspeakable Hand, something else, and then something else, whether that's another Unspeakable Hand, then it charges up your Wung Fu and you can unleash. Super useful. Now, like I was saying with the big guys, the whole idea is to stay ranged.
Better beware, that's a monk
So,
up ahead.
nice little
They
boss
were
fight.
hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred.
So watch out for that. There's a big area of effect on that. The moth mouth is not going to affect something that big, so just waste all your stamina, waste all your bullets, just stay moving. Now, personally, I'd rather have more energy regen than total energy. Reason being is it allows us to, you know, dodge more often, throw out more spells. But just keep up the pressure. Pretty simple victory. A couple of chests in the area. Experiment pants. I think that's starting equipment. But go ahead and take that. There's a health pack with it too. There's another chest right here. More add-ons. And I gained a level. So, we're going to be pumping intellect.
You feel like you've figured it out.
You could put some into luck for the loot chance. The critical chance does now affect it. Didn't in the beginning of the game. But I'm going to be going pretty much full intellect. I didn't put anything in luck in my last build. You can put your critical chance from your equipments. So, why wouldn't you? And honestly, loot chance isn't too big of a factor when it comes to finding better stuff or more stuff. At least not as far as I can see. So I go with intellect, and then I'll randomly select vitality and agility, depending on what weapons I end up going with. We have some things to unlock. I don't use blaze or blink. Good movement skills, but other than that, not so great. I have no bio points. So we're gonna save those points up. Oh, wait. Because of Wong Fu, close combat, unarmed, we want blow noose. Can't afford that's two. Alright, well we're gonna want that. That way we can do the Wong Fu thing. I could also put it into... Oh, I could also put it there. Hold on. Let's do that. Range combat. Because I don't know if I'll do dual wielding like I did in my last playthrough. Because I did regular gun for the longest time. But I'll do that just so I can demonstrate Wong Fu here eventually. But this is sadly more tutorial stuffs. And some flashbacks.
Time is lost on this place, but it...
Now, one cool thing during this whole flashback sequence, you're going to be constructing a weapon. You can eventually refine this weapon.
Let's see.
And upgrade it. I think it comes upgraded. But, if you know what you're going to be ending up on, and you have the ingredients here in the beginning,
and sometimes
you can go ahead and build it if you want.
It's not about who you were.
It's more of just a nice little touch
This story is far
than
from over.
a hidden thing. But if you know what you're going for, you might as well build it. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do.
Echoes of a long-lost past, like
So,
whispers in
first
the wind.
thing, we're gonna come over here, mess with Goop.
He wonders where you've been.
I'm gonna be nice in conversation, which is
He thinks you
usually
should
the
really know how to
right-sided
and
option,
he'll be
and
on.
left is usually bad, light and dark. But it's not always the case. But now you get to demonstrate and see how fast key energy drops as you're swimming. So, easy way for you to get fainted. Try and stay out of the water.
He says that way. Judging by your Muma's look, you promised you'd train with her before.
Now, I do like one of the touches of this
You know
game
you
is
can't-
however you make yourself look is how your parents
You
look.
should know.
It's pretty cool.
She'll see you at the village square.
Alright, now we'll go over here and interact with Gizmo.
Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. He was hoping you could help.
Alright, this is the crafting I was speaking of.
You
So
should.
let's go ahead and get through this. First, let's upcycle some stuff. Searching for parts. In the rubbish. One man's trash, they say, is another man's treasure. I say they just wanted to sound smart.
He can work wonders with.
Alright, crafting intro, blah blah blah. Basically it's just showing you, start with whatever weapon type you want. I'm gonna end up probably going... with two-handed slash. That's where I ended up last time, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. Looks like the flat iron's gonna give us the best. As per damage, and it's light. Which means it swings faster. Next is handle. but they translate through whatever weapon, so you're just looking for whatever's gonna get you the best. I like going with whatever's gonna get me the, well, that looks like it's gonna be the Workman's. So as you can see, I can get a 427, and that is the highest and minimal damage it can do. I actually think it's the highest damage you can do overall because it's 695. Yep, so we're gonna end up going with the Workman's. Yeah. So we take those, and then you can craft the weapon. Came out spectacular, which is great, even though its quality is lousy. But again, this isn't like a set in stone kind
You
of
did
thing.
well,
You'll
but
just
he
end up
can't help
finding it
but
later.
wonder why you decided to craft it.
Made something for Mamuma.
It
Such
looks
a
like she's
Muma's boy.
starting to lose her patience.
Asil natu.
You know she doesn't like waiting for you.
Kuri kumbala muma. Kana munta.
She wants you to...
Antoro.
That's
Ruhemuktum.
Go ahead and choose whatever you feel you need in dialogue. It doesn't affect much. You get some good and light out of it, depending. But it's easy to farm both of those
They look
if you need
determined.
be.
Better watch out.
Now, I thought it was cool. These three, even though
He
they
asks you
are
to stop
your
right
childhood
there and
bullies,
wonders.
they're also three
That makes him
leaders
wonder
of
why
the
you were
clan
here
wars
looking for.
in the current
There's
time.
no way they'll let you
I'm
pass.
actually aligned with the
He
Myriad,
wants
which is
to know
Mr.
who you
Boomerang
think
over
you
here on the
are.
right.
They push each.
Which I just thought that was a cool little tidbit. Now, I have never actually won this fight. Somebody always ends up getting the upper hand somewhere. There it is. And they end up taking your weapon. Oh, no. But here's Muma to save the day.
Pialtuma.
She asks if you're hurt. What happened?
Pala.
She says
Anson bara pala.
it's time to...
Yep. And I'm just choosing to be a light kind of guy, so take the bigger path, ask them to train with us. Yeah, and if you want to put roleplay elements into your gameplay, it always spices things up.
Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best.
Wow.
He asks if you could help him, too.
Here comes Popsy. So now, we're gonna go searching for clothes, because we had the weapon crafting tutorial, and now we're getting into the armor crafting, or more specifically, the add-on crafting. So, not only do you have your pieces of equipment, but you're gonna be adding, you know, little bits and baubles to empower them stronger.
He's curious to see what you found. He's all... He said...
And again, this is gonna come back later on, so, you know, just take some time to, look at your options. Usually I go for something that's, higher up in rarity and price. But in this circumstance, what we're gonna do, and what I end up doing in late game, is we're going to, because the add-ons really don't matter once you got the proper armor and you know how your combatant, you know, moves around the battlefield, and you can dodge like it's Dark Souls, or whatever. Personally, me, I pull the magic tank and just heal off of the damage I do. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to look for things that increase critical chance and have a decent armor rating. So 16 there. Sorry, the 15 there. Alright, So it looks like we're going to end up with a couple more 15s. One of them's near the bottom. 21. You could also do add-ons for resistances, but near the end game, there really isn't anything you can't resist naturally or with your, standard choice of armor. Am I only going to get out of that as a 26? Probably. But we'll go with it. Alright. So, 3% critical chance and 26 armor plus. Again, this doesn't really do much near the end of the game, but you reacquire
The
it as
style
it
might
is.
be too edgy. He's looking for...
Alright, and now we go train with Muma.
Gendrana mala.
Your Muma says it's about time you...
Masammal.
What?
Masammal. Inga valdo.
Your Muma says you did well today.
Ferena masalapu.
Thanks you...
Kialdo malik. Ferena masalapu.
Alright, and now we get our little companion here. You just gotta run around, keep mashing triangle, because you need to capture it, and it's a quick little cricket.
Catchy.
Ferena masalapu. Kanyal pen nampusa.
It's called...
Sanna yote.
Your Muma says you...
Kent sib.
Rest.
Alright, and now sadly the hero's tragic backstory. Oh. Just because
Nothing can
cliches.
stop you. Your Muma urges you.
Alright, now
A
as
burnt
you're
kitten will learn
going
to
through this
dread
escape,
fire.
keep mashing circle, because eventually traps, parts of the burning building are gonna fall down. It can knock
That's
you out.
just adding fuel to the flames.
So I roll into the fire. If you just want to watch the prompt, you can, but
Give
I
it a
find it's
last
easier just to
burst and you
spam
make it.
circle.
Ferena masalapu. Pen nampusa.
Alright,
Here
now,
it comes.
engagement.
The past coming to
Now, I've
haunt the
never had
present.
him knock me out. He's come close, but... Ow. But usually he's a little distracted. You don't win this, if that wasn't already obvious. But go ahead and give it, your everything you can. He's mostly gonna focus on your Muma, so... And once you get the little prompt for triangle, go ahead and hit square,
You
and
must
that'll
go
take you into the
through
movie.
fire. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it.
Oh,
Where she goes,
I
you
pushed
go.
too many
Blood
buttons.
is thicker than water.
So, swim to your Muma.
You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow.
And be aware so you can dodge. Swim back to your Muma. And now, tragic cutscene. Again, I can't skip a few of these videos and whatnot throughout. Sorry for spoilers.
Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost.
Alright, now let's skip the more tragic backstory, because you lose both your parents. So sad.
As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need
and now
to
moving
move on.
And now welcome to the big wide open world. Seems your allies have caught
They couldn't
something.
keep it down. Fluff Hulk's on the loose.
Oh no. Now feel free if you want to get up close and personal with the dance. But when it comes to Fluff Hulks and the like, I prefer to stay back and keep it all range damage. Their ranged attacks are easy to dodge, and their melee attacks do a whole lot of damage. Haha, see? That took almost half. Oof. No, I am not the best player if it wasn't already obvious. But that's another reason that I look for broken strategies. Nope. I tried to do something fancy. I was just about to try and build up to the Wong Fu, since now we have two moves that we could do it with, but I really only save that for lessons. It's best to stick with what you know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, most of the bread and butter of me breaking the game is all of the ads, the small level stuff. It can be juggled and taken out of the fight easily. When it comes to this big stuff, it's still a challenge, which honestly makes the game a little more fun for me. So, let's try this again. This time, less death.
They couldn't keep it down. Fluff Hulk's on the loose.
Now, of course, I'm also playing on the toughest difficulty. So you can play wherever you feel comfortable. One thing I keep forgetting about, you can charge up your spark balls and your flame balls. They do a little bit more damage and a little bit of AoE, but you can get more damage per second just by throwing out. Rapid succession. Now, sometimes, though, because it does have a bit of a stun effect, you can stun lock some people, but you can see how undependable the accuracy really is. Now, why are they just flying through it like that? I'm not entirely sure how that didn't hit me. say something. There it is. Yeah, a little perseverance gets you through it.
They've received. You should hurry.
And now we speak to our ally. See if they dropped anything. Since they did not show level, intellect for the magic damage. Yeah, then we're gonna have to save up for those. Oop. But side points, we only still have 2, so yeah, no reason. So now let's go meet the war party.
Look, an emergency box from the old days.
Now, like I said in our
Wow.
last video,
Bet that nut makes
along
a
with the
tight
claw,
fist.
claw bar, this is the clunk fist. A little tutorial for it. Now, it ends up in your weapon wheel, because it's also a physical damaging. And as you can see, does more damage per hit, but it's a medium speed and attack, no armor piercing, which that has very little anyway. Personally, I don't mind it. The combos are not bad, and yes, you can still do the infinite combo. It can be done with any weapon that I've found. It's just a matter of interrupting before you do the ground pound slam with the spell or the gun. Pretty broken combo. I just found it to work best when it comes to the Psy-Freak. Just because the spell interrupts better than the gun. And weapon switching, yep. There.
Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it?
Whenever you pick up a new weapon, whether that's a tribe weapon or whatnot, you can see that this already has its Wung Fus unlocked. It's another reason I'm probably going to be using it for a while. So let's move on. Hello there. Now with the Clunk Fist, it's about a 1, 2, 3, and then you can throw your ball out. Now you can see I'm not even hitting him with the spark ball I'm putting out. I'm still doing decent amounts of damage, but I don't know if you can tell, we are slowly still rising into the ceiling. If you're outside and doing this combo and just continuously taking yourself into the air, you will actually move the enemy so far away from the combat zone it'll reset the battle, which will also reset their health. Camo vest. That energy regen though. And it's heat. We are taking that. We actually equipped it. And now I look like I'm ready to go for summer fishing down at the lake. Alright. Some more items. Again, I apologize if I'm randomly shooting during a combo or just for no reason. I have a janky right trigger. Probably because of overuse.
Maybe next time.
Oh, there was nothing. Yep, guess I don't just break games, I break controllers. But we'll worry about that sometime. Some headgear. Some Rigbu. It's funny making fun of rugby. That energy regen. That is actually nice. Why can't I equip it? Why can't I equip it? Probably over my level. We'll just take a look-see. Yes, yes, I know, there's crafting. Alright, to the gear. There's a head item. This we can sort. It's actually quite nice. Yep, level 7 needed. We'll hold on to that. Ooh, they're rare. And level 5 needed. Alright, so we'll store those. Now, as far as I can tell, I picked up everything. And as far as I can tell, there is no max inventory, so don't worry about it. If you want to pick up everything, go ahead and do it. Little side mission that is pointing out to you. Um, this side quest
That notice board? Filled with the
has two
leftovers of
benefits.
used to
One,
be
it's
once.
to unlock
You're getting close to one of those
skins for
old
your automaton, for your
Toxanol
little
brick
cricket pal. You
towns.
can
Pay
turn him into a
attention.
mouse, into,
The
a bunch of different little
Toxanol
things.
Corporation.
But
Toxanol?
another
There
reason
must...
to follow the old world knowledge quests here, the notice boards, it's going to take you around to 15 different points of interest on the map. So, something to look out for. Now, when it comes to doing all these quests, you don't really need to. We'll get that one done here. Is that the right one? Yep. But, for now, we're just trying to... Hey, Glongfist. But now you can see the yellow I was talking about. But for now, we're going to be exploring Bricktown a little bit. Trying to find a little equipment. What we got here? Modules. Critical chance goes bye-bye. I'm gonna take it though, just because of the energy regen. Which is the main thing I'm looking for. I'd rather have faster regen
This
than
corner
more
of
stuff
the
to
world
have to
is
regen.
called Bricktown.
Right. And as you can see, it's pointing out some old world gadgets and loot around the
You
area.
found the... So much of this place... No. The...
And that's a little side mission. Then it'll take you back to what you were doing. And it's pretty easy to find gear. You can see that they're pointing it out to me. And lose the health and gain defense. We'll take it, but we won't put it on. So, right now, doing a little exploring. The way that I like to do a lot of these areas, personally, is move around the border, pick up anything you see, and then work your way inward. The issue with doing that here is working the border is going to take us down to another area eventually, which is all fine and dandy. Oh. It's a nice crush. But as you can see, its attribute needed is a strength of 20, level needed 7. So that's one of the reasons I went with the two-handed slash that I did. We'll end up finding a blade that doesn't have huge requirements. It does decent damage in effect. There's our first backpack, level 7 needed. But it is random as to what this stuff is. Eventually we'll get into the guaranteed drops and mission rewards and whatnot, but for now, you're just looking for anything and everything that you can loot. And of course, equipping anything that's worth it. And that's, all up to your choices. Again, I would rather have the energy regen, even though this is twice the armor rating. I might actually take that. Just so I don't get one-shotted. Nah, we're good. I'm good with what I got. Because after all, I prefer to have the energy regen just so that it reloads faster as, you know, I'm
Never
firing my
thought I'd
gun.
see it both. You need to get the pegs lined
Here's one
up
of
to
our
get the
first
clothes
old
soaker
world
rolling.
gadgets. You just need to line up the colors. Oop, wrong one. And as you can see, I almost ran out of moves there,
You
but as our
really put a
intellect
spin on
goes
it.
up, so will our tries in these. Now, this that we just picked up, this rare one-handed slash weapon, um, is not bad, and it has a special effect of wired, so melee attacks that are parried with this weapon regenerate 20% of your maximum key energy. It's useful to a point, because after all, we're doing the counter combo, and that's where that would kick in, but it's not going to be game-changing if you had that equipped. One-handed slash and dual-wield slash are really nice for their speed, and they have decent damage. Personally, not the biggest fan. A hat. Small one-handed slash. Honestly, if it comes to the crafting a weapon and whatnot, use whatever is rarest. And what I mean by that is, you know, use whatever status effect or damage or whatever has like the highest that you want to go with for whatever you're doing. Um, when it comes to status effects, fire's always nice to have. You can see that we do a lot of casting of lightning. Lightning's good for stun. Radioactivity's good for stun. Um, but take it as it comes. Because again, it's all going to be random until we start getting certain rewards. But I'm just continuing my perimeter. Get up here. Yeah, and you have a double jump and a wall jump. If you can get them all going at the same time, there it is. Okay, that just leads us up back here. Now, even though they give you that little marker to show you where you're
A
going to be
flush
interacting
stool
with a few
from the back in
things,
time.
sometimes they
It's an
don't
apparatus that
disappear.
syncs. Seems like the
Alright, now we
tighteners
got a
on the
puzzle
pipe
here.
need to be unturned correctly to
So
drain the
we're just
flush
trying
stream.
to align the colors. See how they have yellow around that pipe up there at the top? So we're just getting these valves to line up. Same with these white dots.
That's the kind of trouble you really want
Alright,
to wash away.
that's useful. Level 7. So glad ammo doesn't cost in this game, or I'd just be wasting bullets. Sheesh. Nieces and nephews upstairs sound like I heard elephants. Alright. So now, back to the surface. This is where we came out of. We already did the perimeter. So now we need to start searching buildings. I always like to start the search wherever they're, you know, giving me a marker. If you could see, there was one in the second story.
Well, looks like the
Fry
fry
sparker.
sparker's knobs need to be in sync if you want to get the hardware working.
Yay. Our equipment is cooked. Wait, what?
It's a fry sparker mindset. Boom, you got something. It's not
Because, you know,
exactly what
people
you
would just
wanted,
have
but
pants
you
in the
got it right
microwave. But
away.
those are nice, and just what they're right up our alley. So we take those. Is that a shotgun part with radioactivity? Not bad, not bad. Take that too. But again, you know, using whatever's rarest is one thing, but also use whatever's comfortable for you and fits the build. That is nuts. Alright. take note of that wall jump, because it can be stacked with the double jump.
Nothing, huh?
Not a thing. Eventually, we will have a few pieces of equipment that will allow our double jump to morph and change into a glide and such. Excuse me, but for now... Aha! Now, as you can see this glow orienting off, that's going to take the superb loot off. That was the piece that it was telling you was here. It'll still be random, but it's guaranteed to be of a better rarity. We've already done all the gadgets. So now that we've got that off the checklist, if you want to still, continue to loot, there's probably other boxes and such to go along. But let's go meet up with the war party. And then I will cut the episode off there. Always be careful of the layout. The map is live action and has some decent detail even in the fog of war, so plan accordingly. There will be a lot of times you're going to run into ridge lines and you're going to want to
the deepest, darkest forest
get
in the
around them.
land. Sometimes hard to see for all the trees.
Now, you don't have to help your allies in this battle since they, they got this. But if you do start to, that's when you're going to be able to target stuff. You can see that my Mothmouth didn't target the other two. I can't even lock on because I haven't hit them yet. They're still busy with who they were originally fighting. And then my spells won't even hit. So there's some Wung Fu for you. There's some more Wung Fu for you. Oh, it didn't count the last one. Alright, now we got him ticked off at us. And now the Wung Fu is ready, so hit L1 and R1 at the same time, both your bumpers, and then you can see over here on the right, it brings up the different things you can do. The Turtle Strike is nice because it's a good combo, especially if you're going with the unarmed and you have the skill that the damage goes up with each consecutive hit. Ground Slam is quite useful if you're surrounded, but it'll also go off if you're just in the air whenever you put anything off. The Clonk Bonk is super critical because lower enemies like these guys, even the big guy I just took out, can be driven into the ground and taken out of the fight that way. It just takes a few shots. And then the Rapid Shot, which is what I prefer to do because you can send out so many bullets so fast. But it takes the Super Wung Fu active meter that you see flashing and sparking. So choose wisely as to what you're going to use. I just like going old-fashioned Max Payne bullet time here. But it ended early because I didn't engage this guy too. Well, that was simple. But extra experience, possibility for them to drop stuff, and I have a level. Say what level I am on this screen? I don't think it does.
Your mind expands.
That sounds painful for my cranium. My brain's growing? Yikes. Okay, does it not? Oh, there it is, level 5. So I can put on some of that equipment that we picked up. Mutations. Bile. Some people swear by it. Me, I don't, just because you are required to be in the air when you cast it. It's really good for toxicity, because toxicity is another skill that ends up paralyzing somebody because they just end up throwing up and, not to mention I think it does a little damage over time. But we're going to skip that one. We're skipping those two. We're going to upgrade our resistance. Alright. And then I'll hold on to that one for now. Because when it comes to biogenetics, the only other thing we're going to end up getting is the rad wisps. I should probably save up for those. But eventually you're going to be getting so many bio points anyway. you can be able to have all this. And the only other things we're going to be grabbing from this is the mucus bubble and the rad wisps, possibly the fungi, but I don't use that most of the time. So, enough chit chat. Let's get where it's at. Now behind me is the train yard. Eventually we're going to end up there for a quest anyway. If you wanted to do it now, you could, because it takes us towards one of the
That's
world
a
eaters.
Jackney tribe outpost.
But I'm just trying to get some of this tribe stuff out of the way. Now if we let this load, should be a little engagement. See, they're having a, what seems to be a bit of a slave auction here. Ow. That's why. But as you can see, everybody's a little confused as to what they should be doing, just because I'm juggling their friend. Are you just gonna... I was about to say, why are you just backing up? This janky controller. Oh, come on. Yeah, a bit cheap, I'll admit, but... Now, as I was saying, they have a bit of a slave auction going here. Now, you have two choices. You can either stand up to the podium and go ahead and sell the slaves, or you can free them. I'm going to go with free them, bring a little light to the world, because I want to unlock the light spells first. But there are little, things that you can do like this all around the map. Like there'll be a little soup kitchen. You can either help make the soup or destroy the stand that they're doing it out of. Here you can see everybody's just jumping for joy, I guess, or it's an exercise. But I don't know. Either way, they're free to do what they are free to do now. You know, like I've said before, and I shall say it again. Ever you come across trenches like this, go ahead and search. As you can see, we're getting lucky here. We have a bio container. These are what we use to upgrade our resistances. Alright. So, we're gonna save those for a bit. Actually, no, I think that's just perfect amount, wasn't it? Mutation. Yep, upgrade points. Why does it keep doing that? Anyway. But we're getting that bio up as far as we can get it. Because when we reach our first bio zone, we're gonna end up looting it for all its goodies. Oh. Making me lucky with these crushes. So, two-handed crush, that needs agility? Really? That's funny. But this weapon increases your armor score by 2% for every 10 units of vitality. That's really super nice. Turns you into a tank. So, if you just want to be able to take the hits and keep going like Rocky Balboa, that's a good skill for you to have. It's a piece for a gun. Now, also, when you're in these trenches, the watchtowers will also have goodies most of the time, if not all the time. at? I mean, lose some health, but I gain armor and critical chance. I'll take it. I don't like the look. How does he see? How do you see? Alright. Guess his name is now Skulla before he wears a funny hat. If you get that reference, we can be friends. Alright. I think that is everything lootable from here. Yeah, that should be it. Alright. Moving on, yet again, to the tribe outpost. Now, taking tribe outpost is always different.
Mercadorpus Outpost, a Jagni tribe stronghold.
Mercader, huh? Yeah, no,
Let's see.
a lot of the names are a bit hilarious. But, before we engage here, see that green cloud hanging over the old nuclear facility? That's the toxic bio resistance that we're trying to get. So if we go into our character here, you see we're at 65%, but that's not the greatest we could probably get. Let's search into our gear here, because we had level... I'm gonna go and sort stuff. Let's go with rarity. 7s. Is there anything for level 5? So we got on. That's what we had on. Why am I not using that? But what we could be doing instead is looking for resistances. So I got a 4 and a 6%. So I got a 6% there. Hey, I have shoulder pads. I didn't even notice. There's 6% there. Nothing out of that. But I will take some critical chance. Yeah, we'll take some critical. Torso. Nothing to contribute to there. And nothing there. We've got the best we're getting. Backpack isn't until 7. So, yeah, the best we can get is a 77. As far as that's concerned. Trying to get the bio resistance going. And really, at this stage of the game, it really does not matter what you're wearing. I have nothing for the face yet. If I got lucky and got the right gas mask, we could head in there. But first time you head into any kind of area with a status effect, it's going to give you a little cutscene. Even if you have all the resistances, but they'll slowly build up and then take their effect. So we're going to wait until we're resistant. I'm actually going to cut the episode off here. Now that we've explained a few things and, you know, shown the combo, the bread and butter again. I'll pick it up from this clan war. Most of these early on episodes are going to take some time just because we don't have the fast travel system all unlocked yet. Speaking of which, did
Let's
I
see.
mark? I did. Yes, I did. But where you can see these little golden dots at, you know, that was Bricktown. That was the memorial and the village, you know, going through that whole thing. But, you know, down here was pretty much the tutorial. Now that we're out here past Bricktown, all of this is open up to us. Whatever you feel like doing, wherever you feel like going. It's a lot to explore and a lot to do. But all these little yellow things are now fast travel points that you can go to. Super useful. You can see all these extra quests have popped up. Which, if you want to follow those, you can. They unlock unique pieces of equipment. They'll add, like, for example, the Fry Sparker. I want to say that gives you a crush-type weapon, but I'm probably mistaken. But it'll all be weapon add-ons or armor add-ons if you want to get through all those. But, again, some of them are hidden in areas that are super hot, or super cold, or toxic, or radioactive.